ships port as they come from sea, and that's where I soon will be.
Hey everybody, Music City Spotlight, hanging out with my friend here, plays the guitar, kind of looks like Jesus. Am I right or am I wrong?
Yeah, no, actually I get that.
Oh, I'm glad I'm not the first.
Pretty frequently.
He looks like pretty Jesus. Just kidding.
I got that at the IRS building last month.
Cley Reynolds, right? That's how you pronounce it? Cley Reynolds?
Yeah, Cley Reynolds. I mean, it's a 4-letter word. It's been pronounced worse.
Hey, what's up with your guitar, dude? It's a cool looking guitar.
This is
Tell us about it.
It's a little cheapy Martin.
No.
DX1. Well,
sounds great. How old is it?
It's I've had this about 10 years.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Dude, that thing is worth way more than what people paid for it.
Slept on it, slept with it, used it as a dinner table.
Not anymore, though. Or you better stop doing that.
Well,
that's nice.
No, I haven't had to do that in quite a while.
Hey, play us a song, dude, because look,
right.
let's
I'm
hear.
gonna play a song called Hurricane.
The Hurricane.
Heading out of Alabama with a lawman on my tail. I made for Louisiana in my worn-out Coupe de Ville. When people started laughing, some my ride was smoking like a train. So I left their coffin, took my guitar, started walking in the rain. And I met up with the Cajun queen. Now she was kinda sweet. She took me for my money and then she swept me off my feet. Said, boy, you got some trouble. Better let me help you get you through your pain. You know that I should charge you double, but I love you like the devil just the same. And I laid down on the bed, she gave me something for my head. I don't know what it was, but I think that it was red. And then she started talking like a radio was squawking in between. Them words were kind of worthless and my mind had started spinning. What a shame. Shining brightly through the window on her ring. Down on Bourbon Street, heard a marching band was beating for the king. It must be Mardi Gras. Did my best to try to crawl and recall my name. That's when I started stopping at the front door. Was a knocking at the shaking at the locking, and the timber started rocking. That's when she started waking, trembling and a shaking, acting strange. She informed me it's her husband, better try to make some distance, he's insane. So I headed for the window, thinking first on my agenda was to get down to the station, try to make it on the train. Head up to Atlanta, maybe on down to Savannah, and change my name. That's how I left Big Easy. flying fast and kind of breezy like a hurricane.
Yeah, dude. You are a gentleman and a baller. That is great.
Well,
dude, maybe you can answer some questions that we had
absolutely.
a sec ago when I was Beth Crowley. That's her name. The one that did the podcast a couple hours ago. We were talking about different styles of music. Obviously, country was one of them that came up, living in Nashville and all that.
Right.
And we were talking about the accent, or because you got that country talk, you know?
Yeah.
When you're doing your thing.
It gets really bad the more south
I
that
like
you go
it though.
to.
It's good stuff. But we were talking about, like, is it like something that we make up, like, because it really defines the style, or I think I sounded pretty ignorant in the last podcast. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Well, I mean, country, if you're talking about the accent as far as way of speaking or the music, these days are two different things.
Yeah, go on.
But of course, Southern accent, some people have a hard time understanding it, and they have a hard time understanding.
Yeah, but we're talking about how it comes out in music, man.
Oh.
Why does it come out in music? When, like, you know, you can't tell that the Beatles are English, or you can't tell, you know, sometimes you can't tell black people from white people,
right.
You know?
Well, the whole world has struggles, but everybody has their own. And
yeah.
I think it's definitely not, it's limited and not limited to your environment, but your environment definitely reflects on how.
You know what's beautiful?
What's that?
Like, like, your environment does reflect you, but like there's something about music that transcends that.
Absolutely.
That, like, really connect to people. Like, it's beautiful. That,
it's very
like,
universal.
Yeah. Well, that's what everyone says. It's crazy, but it's true.
It is. It's the most universal language.
Right, and it's beautiful, like what I just said, that sometimes you can't tell black people from white people or Chinese people from whatever. Well, you could tell if they're Chinese or Latin.
Well,
but I mean, like an American with just super English. Like, I'm first generation,
right.
So I can't. I'm gonna have a little bit of an accent.
Yeah.
You know, like, my parents don't speak too much English. One of them does. One of them doesn't. Doesn't matter. Point is, like, once you get into, like, third generation around there, it tends to be black people or white people. You know what I mean? There aren't very many Asian or Hispanic third generations here. Never really thought about that.
I never really thought about that. But,
I think it's true.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but I think it's true. Like, I'm making up statistics. Did you know that 80% of bisexual people are actually heterosexual? Just kidding. That's not true either. I'm just making up random statistics. I don't know what I'm talking about.
I think that's pretty much all anybody does anymore. I'm kind of
just kind of try to make stuff up and try to figure it out.
Without
we're all trying to figure it out, but you shouldn't make something up in order to fit all the puzzle pieces.
No, but never let the truth get in the way of a good story.
That's one way of looking at it. I like the truth.
Well, that's the way my daddy always told me.
Yeah.
I
think because your daddy is a performer.
Well, yeah, he was.
And you were telling me he's quite the performer.
He definitely.
You were fantastic, by the way.
I
did not know you were gonna start playing the guitar like that. You make her sing.
Oh well.
What's your guitar's name?
This is Samina, actually. Don't ask me why.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah,
it's her name.
One of those second glimpses in a name.
I don't ask why.
Yeah.
I hate it when people ask me, like, why is that name? Like, does it matter? I named it.
It's kind of a naughty word, man.
Cecina?
Why? No, why?
Oh, why?
It's kind of like no,
Yeah.
Or
right? It
freeze.
Is kind of like no. You're right. You're right. It is kind of like no. Like when someone asks you, why are you doing this?
Yeah.
It is kind of a no, huh? Or it's like a kind of like a becomes an obstacle. Like you have to prove it.
Absolutely. It becomes like a wall.
Craziness. Anyways, I was rambling a little bit, but your dad,
no, that's all right.
You were telling me earlier, and I not just from your boots, you're wearing your dad's boots.
I am.
That's beautiful. I thought it was fantastic.
These boots played with a guy named Waylon Jennings.
I love my dad, and I got a lot of music from my dad, and a lot of music ideas from my dad, and I think he's one of the finest, like performers like that, like singer-songwriter sort of thing. Your
father's a performer too?
Well, he's not professionally. He didn't do it as a career, but he's fantastic. I'll show you something after the podcast. Yeah, okay. He's fantastic.
Cool.
And it's just, so it's cool. Like, I mean, music is something you get from your family. It seems. Oh, yeah. It's always like a generational thing. It's like, oh, my dad did this, or my mom did this. Or,
right. Oh, well, my family.
Not always, but yeah.
My dad was, of course, he played for a guy named Waylon Jennings. You were started out back in 60s.
I was more impressed. I'm sure Waylon Jennings is cool. Never heard of it, though. Cause
I believe maybe it was 74 when he started that.
Is it super country?
Yeah. Well, it's nowadays it's what all the country musicians look up to as being traditional country. Of course, that's back cool. Then they were innovators, man. They were considered rock and roll. A lot of people don't know that, but my dad told me when I was little that Rolling Stone magazine, every time they mentioned the Waylon Jennings band, that they pronounced them as a rock and roll band, and it kind of got under their nails a little bit.
Oh, it bothered them?
Well,
they were trying to be country?
To be country musicians,
Oh, interesting.
And in a sense, everybody looks down on change in music. Well, everything's changed. They can say there's no more country. Well, it's never going to be like it was. No. You can try to replicate it all you want.
But it all comes with the times. It's what's happening. They didn't have internet. The recording sounded a certain way because they could only record in a certain way.
Right. You had nothing but imagination.
And not only that. Well, you would only record what was recordable, quotation marks. Like you couldn't just come up to someone's house and then they're gonna record you. Oh no, it's gonna sound good.
So many musicians, they displayed that in the Johnny Cash Walk the Line movie. That's very true.
Back then, you had to have it's like even if you maybe had 200 songs, they're like, no, these 10 because they sound like this. Yeah. Then you can come over and we'll spend just that time with you to do those 10 songs.
And now that whole mentality in the music business is embellished by a million.
I love the lack of censorship. I love it. Just want to embrace it. I want everybody to be on the internet.
Too. If you censor everything, that's what's happened.
But I don't want to censor anything. Yeah. I don't want to censor anything.
I don't want anything censored. To me, my favorite records are those old ones that are on vinyl from 50s, 60s, and 70s, and they had 3 takes. A lot of those they would do 3 takes, and the best out of those 3 was what you got. There was no Pro Tools. There was no fixing that stuff.
But we can still do that. That's what we're doing right now. Yeah. I'm not stopping this. Right. We ain't gonna cut any other alternate take and no. Just absolutely. This. I bounce it, and that's it. That's what you get.
Well, and that's what this was. It kind of seems to be going back to, which I love.
You're right. Yeah. Because this is Cley. He's hanging out. He's playing us some song. It's like you're literally in my living room.
Right. Yeah.
This is Cley, and he's gonna do what he does, and it's never gonna be the same.
Looks like my old couch, by the way.
It very well may be your old couch, sir. I got this at the Goodwill.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be funny if it was your old couch?
That's actually where half my clothes, except for these boots, came from.
They're good boots. That's the best piece of clothing on you. Let me tell you. Most character.
They need some work.
Play us another song.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll play you one of my new ones then.
Yes. Play something new for sure.
Yeah.
Talking about change.
Half-time heroes for full-time fakes. Part-time pushers, pray for goodness sake. And light
lightweight lookers look for little white liars, and a hard time hangover can't even ease the brakes. I keep hanging on to what I can't let go. I keep saying yes when I should be saying no. And I keep getting high when I should be staying low. And I keep forgetting things that I need to know. Foundation, foundation, are you crumbling underneath my feet all over again? And why did you go? Where have you been? You shaking my home all the way to the end. Two turns to one when it comes to sin. Don't go burning your tongue with your evil grin. And hell can't kill you, heaven won't let you in. And two turns to one when it comes to sin. And fate fears I'm falling, it's a matter of fact. Got a devil on each shoulder, a monkey on my back. And it's hard to care for love when it's something that you lack. Got all that I own in one old sack. Got all that I own and I'm never looking back.
Very nice. Very nice. I took out my headphones just to hear the sound of your guitar and your voice.
Yeah.
Both good stuff, but just the quality. Like, I wish we could get to there where we could like bring like really the way you sound and put it in front.
Right.
The closest thing right now I think is a record player.
Yeah. I just love that old vinyl sound.
But it sounds like what I'm like, just like what I'm describing. Like it sounds like it's right in front of you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Especially when it's like a blues record or something like that, and it's like just acoustic vocals and guitar. Even and in the '70s, like a Joni Mitchell record.
Oh yeah.
God, like where it was the technology was already good enough to capture all the frequencies.
Yeah.
And place them on a record.
And then
just right there, right? And like that's why I took out my headphones. It just sounds great. Good stuff. Seriously, I'm impressed. Good
Janice
stuff.
albums they did in New Orleans, man.
Yeah. You were saying you lived in New Orleans for a sec.
Oh yeah. I was living down there at the tail end of last year.
How was it?
It was every bit of great and
good hookers.
Fun and great hookers.
Come to New Orleans. We have great hookers.
Yeah. Go to New York. Their love and nudity and music are it's pretty beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were saying it's
a good time. I mean, everybody there and they're so friendly. You know, and it's so dangerous, but it's
Why?
very friendly. Well, it's just its own country.
Like basically, people are doing whatever they want.
Well,
less law enforcement going on,
less,
more drugs.
Well,
More people are fucked up.
No, not necessarily, because there's.
I'm completely talking about out of my ass. I don't know. Never been.
You never been?
Mm-mm.
Well, it's actually in a lot of senses it's kind of like adult Disneyland, and
I want to go.
So it's a little bit. When you come back to Nashville or a place like this, you know, you
a little more
immediately, you know, the big thing is you can't carry your drink on the streets. You can take your drink with you everywhere in New Orleans, and so
true.
in that sense, I think it makes it
You can do that?
Yeah, well,
I didn't know.
Yeah, there's no public intoxication laws really. You can get drunk, passed out on the streets, and
Oh my God!
you know,
Let's
get
go
everything
there.
robbed and taken from you.
I want to go.
Yeah, well, we'll go back. I'll go down there with you anytime.
Fuck.
But, it's one of
Yeah.
my favorite places in the world. It's very beautiful. But in the sense, get back to it, that you can't take your drink here, and in a lot of places in New Orleans, there's no last call.
Have you been to Las Vegas? Well, of course, yeah.
And so when up in Nashville and in places where
You feel a little more restricted
it's almost a little bit more dangerous.
here.
Yeah, I think so, because it kind of puts
People are driving around drunk.
Not just, it's not even that. It's more the sense that you have a time limit of what you can do as an adult in a bar, in an adult place, with
rules.
your own money.
People are more easily gonna crack under pressure.
Well, they're just gonna drink a lot faster if they know that 3 o'clock's their
the
last
party's
time to
over.
drink. Yeah.
Huh? Because like when I was saying like, yeah, that's where we need to go. Like I don't mean like I want to be drunk all day.
Well, no,
I want to
actually,
enjoy it there.
One of the first things you learn is you get smashed, you know, your first couple of days, and then you
Right.
learn how to really pace yourself.
Well, you shouldn't.
You know, and
But that's the thing, right? That's like when you're a child, you don't want the parents that give you all these restrictions,
Right.
Because I'm fortunate. Like my parents were like right down the middle. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I was definitely restricted. I wasn't allowed to get drunk.
Really?
Like that kind of thing. But
there were always more smokers in my family.
In your family?
Yeah, my family was never drinkers.
That's good.
We were definitely big believers of smoke, you know.
and you should be.
Well, yeah, it's a lot safer in all ways.
Yeah. And we're not talking about cigarettes.
No,
We're talking
no.
about marijuana.
Marijuana.
And
And
you were telling me about
I'm
your
open
grandpa.
supporter. Yeah.
Yeah, you were telling me about your grandpa, about like he had cancer and the doctor, off the record.
Yeah, it was.
Can we say that?
I guess
Can we talk about
I
it?
guess it's on the record now, but
Well,
I don't know how they would.
Is it bad? We can
It's
we can
not
avoid
really
this conversation.
bad. Because
No, I'm saying we
things
can
that-
avoid this
was
conversation
a
if you
course-
want.
No,
I'm just trying to be polite.
No, I openly discuss this conversation.
I
because-
really like the story that you told me, so tell us the story.
Well, I mean, that's why I'm so open about it, and try to break people from this anti-comedic perspective.
Yes,
on,
because marijuana is serious.
on
It's actually good for you,
smokers, yeah.
and alcohol will kill you.
Yeah.
Will kill you. And I'm trying like I'm I don't drink. I'm not drunk all the time. I'm not just. I was just kidding
Well,
earlier.
I
was
definitely can't say anything about alcohol, but
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer in the benefits for marijuana.
yeah,
you know?
me too. I agree. But tell us the story about your grandpa.
Well, he, his doctor, his main doctor, he had cancer the last couple of years of his life, and
how did he die?
he actually died of a car wreck. He
Right,
didn't
not
die-
of cancer,
not
and
of- yeah.
they didn't expect him to live that long.
He had a diagnosis of 2 years, and he lived 2 years past that, I believe. Or he
Point is,
either way, he
point
lived
is he
2
just kept
years
living,
past
and he
his
kept smoking
diagnosis.
marijuana
Yeah.
every day, and
The doctor said completely off the record, but that was his belief that had a lot to do. Not say that was every reason why.
sure, but that's kind of hinted.
Yeah,
like
enough to-
because like it's like the other stuff wasn't really working.
Right.
But why do you think that is? Why did marijuana actually help him through cancer? Apart from just the stress, because obviously stress is a killer.
Well, stress
apart from
is
just
a huge
stress-
part of it, but I think it definitely has its
Physical benefits,
physical
like
benefits.
de-inflammation. Like I was saying, like I've read a bunch about that, about how it helps with inflammation.
Yeah.
Inflammation, and it helps with
it's always helped me with even common colds, you know.
What do you? Yeah,
that's the saying an apple a day, you know. I have
yeah, like sometimes like I'll yeah, like if you're down or just for a lot of things. But point is, you're right that we have to stop the whole comedic thing.
Yeah,
like, it's not just funny. It's not just
this whole Cheech and Chong. You know, it's just kind of a counter-cultural
but
thing.
not necessarily that speaking of Cheech and Chong,
I love those guys, so
right,
don't get me wrong.
They were promoters. They are promoters, and they use comedy to break the ice.
Yeah.
So thank God for them.
Absolutely.
Because they really did that. They broke the ice, and that's what we needed. And you're right. Now we're on to the next step.
Right.
Now let's legalize it, and let's stop considering it a joke.
We've broken the ice, so now let's, actually...
I guess I just said that kind of like defense over, Cheech and Chong, but like you said, yeah, like we both love him.
Oh, and Tommy Chong's one of my heroes. You know, he's definitely one of those people that, before one of us croak, I'd like to meet him. So, Lemmy Kilmister was one of my other ones, but he didn't.
I wish I. Who's your biggest idol? Your biggest musical idol?
Well, that'd probably be my dad. You know, he definitely. I can remember at 6 years old, I didn't recognize. I recognized two names of musicians. Yeah. I recognized my dad as being a musician, and then I recognized Johnny Cash. As silly as that sounds, but Ring of Fire as a little kid for some reason.
You loved it.
Yeah, and I got to meet him shortly after at about 7 years old.
Because through your dad?
Yeah.
How was he?
Actually recorded one of my dad's songs called It'll Be Her. He did that on the CMAs back in the 80s. And,
well, what was he like, though? Come on.
Oh, Johnny Cash was one of the most... he just has such a presence, but it's... Not in that, you always hear people say that, but he's just such a delightful guy.
How so? What specifically?
I'm sure we all have our scary points.
Specifically, what happened? You were 7 years old. How did you meet him?
Well, my dad was living on Music Row. He had his studio there, and that's pretty much where I spent a lot of my childhood. If I was with my dad, it was on Music Row growing up. And
that's here in Nashville. That's Broadway.
Correct. Well, no.
No? Where's Music Row?
Right before you get to the square.
I still don't know. I've been here half a year, and I still don't know what Music Row is.
It's right before Demombrium, where the square is, the Buddy Killen.
It's like,
circle.
Is it a street?
Yeah. Music Row. It's a street. Goes from by Belmont all the way to the Buddy Killen circle. And yeah, that's the old place back in. As long as Nashville's been a music city, that's where all the publishers record.
I think I've driven past there where they seem like houses, but they're like recording studios.
Right. You see all
that driven by. It was definitely impressive
and stuff. Yeah.
Actually, it was cool.
Right. He was I got. Well,
what happened? So you're there, and your dad has a recording studio.
It wasn't a recording studio. It was just a
house
studio that he was renting that he'd write in and stuff like
that.
Okay.
So then Johnny Cash showed up.
Well, no, there's a recording studio next door. And at 7 years old, my dad had already gotten to ask him whose bus this was. If I saw a tour bus, I'd go, whose bus is that? And he would know, more than likely.
And so you really liked Johnny Cash, and he helped you meet Johnny Cash?
Well, I saw the bus next door. We'd walk up to where a place called Idle Hour. It's a little singer-songwriter beer bar venue on Music Row still. That was a little gum market where he'd walk me up and get me a Coca-Cola at 7 years old. And so
nice. We
walked up to the market, and outside was big bus. I said, Dad, whose bus is that? And he goes, I believe that's Johnny's bus. And I stopped immediately. He said, Dad, I want to meet Johnny Cash. And
fuck yeah, good for you.
He goes, well, we can't bother him right now. He's recording, he's working. We gotta leave him alone.
What'd you do? How'd you meet him?
I asked him about 1,000 times on the way up to the little market again.
Yeah. Dad,
still
please.
Same answer. No, we can't.
Come on,
got
and
back
then?
and all the way to the back, and got back to his little studio, and he sat down at his desk, started writing. He had me a little desk at 7.
Writing music?
I'd sit there and write. And
does he write like he's literate in music?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Great. Keep going though. How did you meet Johnny Cash?
Yeah, well, I eventually asked him probably another 1,000 times, and
then what? You go over to the door? Or?
Finally, my dad puts his pencil down, and he goes,
like, fine.
Fine. He said, if it was anybody else, I wouldn't do this. And so he got up, and we walked next door, and walked in the door, and of course sitting on his amplifier tuning his Carl Perkins, and there's, his whole band, setting up, and Johnny and June are in the far corner in the back bickering about something, and he sees my dad walk in the door. Right?
Oh, what a great story. Keep going.
Right when he sees my dad walk in the door,
Johnny Cash and June Carter.
Yeah.
Then they're bickering about something, and you're 7 years old, and you're walking into like a smoke-filled room.
Well, I don't remember any smoke, but I'm sure there probably was.
And then you're walking into this, right, you're in a music studio.
Yeah,
you're walking
it was normal back then to be smoking cigarettes.
For sure, everyone
else,
was smoking back
in the studio. But, so Johnny sees my dad walk in the door, and he immediately starts walking towards me and my dad with his hand.
How did he walk? Was it a really
it was just
walk?
chest all the way out, and had his hand all the way ready to shake, even though he was 20 feet away from us. He had his hand
ready,
out. I
acknowledge somebody in the room.
Yeah,
what a fucking
walked
gentleman.
Up to my dad and said, "Hello, Billy Ray. I'm Johnny Cash." My dad goes, my dad known him already for decades.
Right.
Said, "Johnny, I know who you are."
I know who you are, motherfucker.
This is my son Clay. He wouldn't leave me alone until I brought him over
Johnny
here
Cash.
to meet you. And,
what did he tell you?
I've been up watching this video called "The Chicken in Black." You got to watch it. It's a spoof video that Johnny Cash did, and I never really Well, I'll explain it. I've been watching this for the past 2 weeks, and so instead of like looking down at you and shaking your hand like most people, like adults do to little kids, he dropped down to both knees and looked me eye level. And that's what made it so cool, is that he got down on your level. And so
I almost want to cry.
He goes,
I wish I was there.
"Hello, Clay. I'm Johnny Cash." And my first words was, hey, Johnny, do you know what my favorite movie is?" And he goes, "No, Clay, what's that?" And I said, "The Chicken in Black." And he jumped up and grabbed his heart, and he goes, June, do you hear that? I'd never, it took me until I was about 18 or 19 to understand why he made such a big deal of it. And it was right around the time that his record company was firing, trying to get rid of him.
And he did that alternative thing.
He had taken his own money out. They had all made fun of him for doing The Chicken in Black.
No.
And they didn't understand it. They didn't know why it was such a big deal. And all of a sudden, there's this 7-year-old kid saying, "You know what my favorite
Right. So what, does June Carter come over? Do you talk to her too?
No. But that was just kind of the.
What did she do? Just kind of ignore it?
But I don't really remember much after that.
Yeah. Oh, God, I'm sorry. I just want all the details.
I love June, but Johnny was, he was the...
How did he look? Did he look healthy?
I didn't know who June was. I knew Johnny Cash as a musician at that age. And...
Did he look healthy?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this had to have been probably 92. He was still good and going. It was a very cool experience. I've been very blessed in my life to grow up in the music family that I've had. My godfather is a guy named John Hartford. He's in the Guinness Book of World Records for the most recorded song ever written.
Go on. What song is it?
Gentle on My Mind.
Which one?
Gentle on My Mind.
How does that go?
It was recorded. It was the big hit was done by Glenn Campbell.
How does it go though?
Elvis Presley.
Play a little bit of it.
Let's see if I can know it. With me being out of tune, let's see. It's knowing that your door is always open and your path is free to walk. That tends to make me leave my sleeping bag rolled up and stashed behind your couch. Wow, that's all I got for now.
Well, when? What year though? Because I thought the most recorded song was "Yesterday" by McCartney.
That was back, I believe maybe the 60s, early 60s when Gentle on My Mind. I'm not really sure on that though.
But when was he on the record?
What's that?
Like when did he get the Guinness record?
Oh, I'm not sure about that. That I could be wrong on that, but
no, you might have been. You might have been something.
Heard.
No, it might have been something that like you heard as a kid. But you know how they change it every
right
changes. I think
everything
now.
Changes.
I think yeah, everything. You're right. There's nothing permanent. Everything must pass, and everything does pass. Everything passes.
It's good to, and people kind of hold on to
old
traditions.
Yeah,
a little bit.
I don't want to be a dick or nothing. Like say like
I don't want to come off the wrong way by saying, don't be
No, you're coming off great. Not like coming, but coming.
Well, right.
But I'm just saying, I think that it's Yesterday by Paul McCartney.
You might be right on that. I'm sure you probably
That
are.
was a joke that I got from a friend of mine, Jeff King. He's a fucking hilarious person. Met him back in Boston. But
well, it wouldn't be the first time I'm wrong on something, Just ask any one of my exes.
Play us another song. I think I'm babbling a shit ton. Play us a song. I like. This is great though. It's great.
Yeah, man. I'm having fun.
Yeah, fuck yeah, dude.
Let's see.
It's good to get a You're a good musician too. Appreciate it.
Thank you, man.
Appreciate you coming over, doing
thank you
this.
for having me here.
Now you know what a podcast is.
Right.
Go on.
I'm sure I've probably done them before. Why
are things so PG though?
Right. Well, yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna do this.
What are you playing now?
There's a song I wrote a couple years ago called "Cool Water."
Cool Water.
Let me get this tune.
Do you have any songs in 3?
In what?
In 3?
Greek?
3. THREE.
3 songs.
Like 1 2 3 2 2 3 or or like a really churchy one, like slower. I'm not saying that. No, it's not a request. I just mean like, do you have any songs that you've written in 3? Because 4 is super country.
Right.
The boom chick, boom chick, boom chick,
boom
chick,
like,
boom chick.
It took me a second.
And I'm not being
Hank 3.
I'm not trying to like. I mean this. I don't mean this in a bad way. Obviously,
no.
As a musician, I'm just saying. Do you have any in 3? and just 3 doesn't have to be the only way you divide it. You can divide it in 5.
If you came up and asked me at a
gig,
gig, I'd think you're talking about drugs or something. But
do you have any 3?
Hey, you got any?
Got any 3?
A new one to me, but
I'm just saying. Do you ever write any songs in 3?
I don't know. I'm bad at math, anyways. So.
Well, 2, 3, and 4 are the common ones. 5 is less common, and then it gets less common from there.
That's one of the reasons why I didn't become a drummer.
Right? Because those guys are playing they literally playing in 11.
Right.
And then playing in 5.
On their foot. Like Pink Floyd's Money, what is it? Yeah, it's got
4,
crazy
5, 6, 1,
right.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. See, that's in 3, essentially.
Yeah.
If you played it right, I don't know the song that you're talking about, but the way you just played it. Anyways, go on.
You've heard of Pink Floyd, right?
Who?
Pink Floyd.
I'm just kidding.
All right,
dude, come on.
Well, you've heard of the Who, right?
Who? Come on, all right. Let's get serious here. Play us another goddamn song. You better play your heart out.
All right. Well. It still sounds out of tune.
Does it?
Let's do it.
Are you using your tuner? It's the 6th string. Sorry, 1st string. No. Put the capo on. That's a mistake that people make. Is that they tune it and then they put the capo on. Put the capo on first. I promise. Like, yeah, you definitely tune it like that, but the strings bend when you place the capo on. And if you tune it while the cable's placed on it, they kind of align better onto the frets.
Well, when you do it, when you try to tune with the capo on, it keeps the string there, and so after you start playing, it lets that slack.
Not if you actually tune. Not if you tune from the beginning while the capo's on. If you tune and then put the capo on, yes. if you put the capo on and tune, it slides into position before you start playing.
Yeah.
Wow. Whatever. What do I know? What do I know? Fucking let's play us a song, goddammit. Cley Reynolds, I'm having fun.
Right,
it's so much fun. Hold on, I'm gonna grab a beer.
All right.
Do you want a Sam Adams?
Sure.
I have a Sam Adams Summer.
Either way. Yeah.
Just saying, you can have more whiskey. We have whiskey here.
Oh, whiskey sounds good.
Okay. It's right there next to you.
Oh, cool.
Hey, I'm just a little thirsty and I don't feel like drinking water.
Hey, I hear you, man. This is fun.
You want a Sam Adams though?
Yeah, I'd love one, man. Thanks.
Cool.
We still going here?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
You see what I mean? You don't know what a podcast is, do you?
No, I
It
don't.
just keeps going, man. It's just it's a like a real conversation.
Oh man, I wish I didn't hit those last two chords now.
Let's do it.
Well, let's do
Play us another song, go.
Sitting on the boardwalk in New Orleans, lonely as I can be. And it looks like I've been walking through hell and back, and I need that river to take me quickly. Into cool water. A couple walks by and they're holding hands, and it reminds me how it used to be. And it burdens my memory when I hear someone laugh. Need someone to save me quickly. Into cool water. Into cool water. As I jump right in, let that current carry me up to my end of cool water. And ships board as they come from sea, and that's where I soon will be. Now fear not, because what will be, will be. I let go, don't look to seize it all go quickly. Into cool water. Into cool
Yeah.
Messed up a little bit.
Fantastic.
Well, this is actually the first time I've really picked up a real guitar in 4 months. So.
You know what I was thinking about?
I'm glad I'm doing this, remembering my lyrics at least.
I was really thinking about while you were playing that, and it's terrible that I'm admitting to not always being in the moment. But while you were playing that, I was thinking about the difference between a guitar and a piano.
Yeah.
You know, and like a guitar kind of can counterbalance the power of a person, whereas the piano, you know, it's the grand piano for a reason. It is powerful. It's a and the best. A lot, not necessarily, not that it doesn't work for a song. It works great for a song, but a lot of like the best piano music is like concert pieces, if you know what I mean. And a lot of the best guitar music, I think, are songs, because a guitar can sing.
Well, I've known.
You ever think about that?
I don't know. Have you ever heard of Leon Russell?
No.
Well, people like that, and they really capture that whole. Well, and even people like Queen, you know who Queen is. You know, and when you take something like that, that's just.
Well, hold on.
That takes the best out of almost.
Freddie Mercury had a whole other. He was on a whole other level as far as
he was.
Because I was just talking about the power of a person. Whoa, you know what I mean?
I know, man.
He's on a whole other level with those pipes. What a beautiful.
Did you hear about Sasha Cohen turning them down to do Freddie Mercury? He was gonna portray Freddie Mercury.
Didn't.
Well, he didn't because he wanted to do the real Freddie Mercury of midgets running around at the parties with cocaine trays on their head, but of course the band wants to Disney-fy it, and you know, like they do to all the old rock and rollers. Well, they do that to the documentaries. When they were crazy, Freddie Mercury was a crazy
Freddie Mercury's
guy.
An animal.
He really had that at his parties. He had midgets running around, small people running around with, you know, I guess.
Yeah, no, I hear you. He.
And they were nutcases. All those old guys, Jerry Lee Lewis, and they did a great job on the Great Balls.
I don't think Freddie Mercury was a nutcase. I just think that he.
You would have to be that genius. I mean, there's no such thing as.
He was pretty genius.
He was genius. Yeah. I mean, you'd have to be. All those guys, they were nuts.
I don't know if this is the only reason why I could play devil's advocate, is that he seemed to be really comfortable in his skin.
Well, yeah.
And when you're really comfortable, just because he was doing things that some people might think are crazy, right. I don't think he was crazy. I think he was comfortable.
Well, there's two different kinds of crazy.
Hold on. And because, before you explain the two crazies, because he was so comfortable in his skin and willing to do all these things, right. As crazy as they may seem, that's what made him sane.
Yeah. Well, and you know, Johnny Cash, Waylon.
He wasn't
Brothers,
like
all those guys. They were that same way. And
willing to be themselves. But from your story about Johnny Cash, I'm sure there's many stories where he's not.
That's really my only Johnny Cash story.
Of course, I'm sure, and there must be many stories where he's not the gentleman that he is in your story.
Oh, I've heard people that, you know, the old timers that were you know, maybe a little bit older than Johnny was, and so to them that was sacrilegious. Kicking the lights out at the Opry and being high and getting, you know, Johnny Cash started a couple of forest fires.
But that doesn't make him crazy.
It doesn't make you crazy, but the thing is
the two different crazies.
That, you know, there's legitimate crazy, and then there's genius crazy. You know, and so it doesn't make you a bad guy to be called crazy.
But I
call myself crazy all the time.
But what is a genius? Let me ask you this.
Well, that's a
very good question.
Loaded question there.
Well, loaded. You're right.
Loaded question.
It is a loaded question.
Well, the fact is that there's really no such thing as genius.
True or not true?
I don't believe that would be true. The true genius would be perfection, and there's no such thing as perfection.
Good way of putting it.
You know, and to call somebody, I don't know how to relate that one. Let's see. To call somebody a genius.
Like only God could be a genius, basically.
Well, and even God had his mistakes, right?
He made man.
Well, and.
Well, I'm mostly kidding. I'm not religious. Yeah, I'm not godly or anything. I'm just.
I definitely I like to question everything, and I'm spiritual. I'm definitely spiritual. I believe in my form of God, you know, and it's
God's better.
It's similar, and isn't that how it is nowadays?
That is how it is. Everyone can make.
It doesn't matter. Just believe in something and let your neighbor believe it too. Not what you believe.
But that's the thing about God is that it does matter to people.
It does. You know, faith is a huge thing, but
it's not everything.
You know, faith can destroy a person.
I know, right?
You know,
literally, people die for their faith.
What movie is that off of? That's on one of
Tom
those
Cruise?
prison movies. I think that's Morgan Freeman's one.
Shawshank.
I think that was Shawshank. Said faith can destroy a man. And when you think about that, a guy in prison, well, we're all in prison. We're all slaves to the government right now. You know, wake up.
Mostly we're slaves to ourselves. I think before, sure, some
Very
degree
true.
with the government, but I could be a hobo.
Yeah.
That's fine. I'm not ultimately this is what makes this country so
well,
fucking
and I say
fantastic.
that loosely because you know it's easy to blame the government, but
I know,
really
it
it's
is
inside ourselves.
Yeah, exactly.
There's much more of us than there is them.
Yeah, if anything, we should all get together and fix the government.
Absolutely,
because
But we're all in. But like you said, we're in it for
ourselves.
For ourselves, and so if we
that's where the crazy
we're
comes
risking
from.
Our,
Actually, you're right. Ultimately, let's end this conversation with let's all just get together and be peaceful and love each other and figure it out together.
Let people live and
I really don't think
yourself.
that we're ultimately under control, you know. I think that we're okay. I think that sure the government controls you. Of course, a lot of things are a scam.
Right.
But you know, whatever. Wouldn't you? You know, but people get selfish, people get greedy. I'm not necessarily saying you, but I just mean as a figure of speech, people get greedy, people get selfish.
Well, that's human nature. That's not only human nature. That's the animal, kingdom.
Yeah, exactly. And we're all a part of it, and we're trying to figure out how to do it with the.
You see if that hyena isn't trying to figure out how to get that gazelle from a lion.
Oh yeah, yeah. We're just trying to figure out how to make sense of it with all this technology.
Right.
Like what we're doing right now.
And equal the odds.
Like I'm telling you, we might have people that hear this conversation or hear your songs in India or in Chile or in Brazil or in Texas. You don't know. I mean, probably all those places. Actually, you know what I mean? Almost guaranteed. Just based off where people have been listening already. Probably those places.
I think I have a friend in Texas listening. I wanted to say hi, by the way.
Cool. Is she hot?
Oh, totally.
Nice. Well, play us another song, man. I don't know. I think I just really like talking to you. That we're fucking.
Well, man, this is a blast. Thank you for having me. I didn't know what I was getting myself into, to be honest.
Also, there's pills in your drink.
All right. Uppers or downers?
Fallers, sleepers. Just kidding. Wasn't that crazy, the whole Bill Cosby thing?
Oh, well.
That for years? It was not.
I try to stay away from that whole subject.
Do you? It's scary, though, right?
It is.
That's crazy. Now, that to me is crazy.
Yeah. I've been drugged at clubs before.
You have?
Yeah, more than likely.
God. New Orleans?
No, Nashville, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm sorry to ask you this, but what the fuck? What happened?
Well, I know at Silver Dollar Saloon, actually, on 2nd Avenue. I was
oh my God,
playing a show there maybe 3-4 years ago. Maybe 3, to be more exact. But either way, I just broke up with my girlfriend, but her and I were still hanging out and playing music together because she was a songwriter too. And when you write songs with somebody, that's the hardest thing in a breakup with two musicians, is that you got these songs together. It's almost like having a baby. But
not really.
Well, with
Close.
you can change the
Well,
names
was she
easier.
drugged? Well, no, hold on. Well, who fucking drugged you?
Well, it was somebody more than likely trying to drug her. I invited her to the show, and I,
God,
you know,
really?
set her up in the green room, and and I'd set my drink on the little food table.
They thought it was hers?
Right before, more than likely. They'd be excited to run my car and get a.
Did anything happen to you?
Oh yeah, that was one of 2 times that I've had trouble on stage as far as being on.
So sorry.
Yeah, it was pretty awful. Yeah.
That's like, that is the worst thing. That is where that's where you cut off a conversation. Like, you just don't know.
Yeah.
Like,
and anybody that does that to anybody.
Just go fuck yourself.
No,
just
let me know, because I'm willing.
I'll take the drugs.
I will take the drugs.
Just give them, put them in the palm of my hand, motherfucker.
Let me space it
Oh
out.
my god. No, but no, isn't that's what's great about comedy?
Because
Let's just laugh things off and.
Well, of course.
Well,
I've tried the other way about being bitter too, and that just
work.
never works for a person.
Play us a song.
All right. Let's Wow, hell, what song? I'll play one of my newer ones. Let's see. Skin to skin, baby, where are you? Like a sin, I can't lose. Like a habit that I just can't shake. Skin to skin, face to face, again and again. Lonely leads me to wonder if the feeling ever fades. A heartache like thunder, like waiting out the wind and the rain. Skin to skin, face to face, skin to skin, face to face. Seek not your fortune, forever never last. Future will fail you when you're haunted by the past. Like a fever that unfolds neath a flame, skin to skin, face to face, skin to skin, face to face.
Beautiful. Yeah, what's up with that tattoo on your left arm there, where you can see it when you're playing guitar?
That's actually soon be a cover.
Yeah.
It's actually from my first publishing company, General Claiborne Publishing, which General Claiborne is a guy I'm named after, actually. That's my real name is Claiborne, but for some reason it was always hard to get teachers pronounce that in school.
Yeah, try Salvador Bea.
Right? Yeah, well, you know what I mean. And a little bit more. Yeah, that's
a good spot though for a tattoo.
Yeah.
I kind of I've actually thought of that spot of being somewhere where I would want my first tattoo because I could see it while I'm playing.
Right.
I just don't know what I would want to see.
It's it was like a last second decision of when you're wasted.
It's a drunk tattoo is what you're saying?
Yeah, which isn't a good thing because you want to go sober, right? And you want to be healthy for a tattoo. When you're dealing with blood, you definitely don't want your blood to be thinned, and that's definitely what alcohol does.
Yeah.
So you'll get like blotch marks and stuff like that, and it won't turn out as well. Best thing to do is not drink the day before.
Of course, but it hurts so much. You want to have a drink.
Well, yeah.
Does it hurt a lot?
I just didn't know that I was gonna get a tattoo.
Oh, that's the worst part, huh?
Somebody's like, "No, you gotta get something." I was like, "I don't know what I'm gonna get."
I'll just get this.
Yeah, right. That's one of the dumbest things you can do for something that's permanent.
Yeah. So how long have you been living here in Nashville? Oh, you're born and raised.
Yeah, I'm
born and raised
here.
That's like my default question. How long have you been here?
Well, no, it's actually the common question in Nashville. That's kind of like how are you, or how high are you?
That's not true here.
Well,
that is not true here. There is not nearly enough marijuana here as there is in.
Well, you've only been here a year, right?
Half a year.
Half a year. But there's.
But it's not decriminalized.
It's not decriminalized, but
and it's not legal.
There are literally places that we have made a lot of groundbreaking.
Like what?
Discussion and argument and what's acceptable.
The worst part is that you're in the Bible Belt.
No, it's terrible. It's awful. In New Orleans, they just supposedly made it where it's legal to
walk around naked.
Well,
it's all
you can show your titties just as long as you're a woman. A man, they don't
like it as much.
Well,
so if you're a woman,
half of the crowd does.
If you're a woman, let's all go down to New Orleans. Let's all take our shirts off and walk around with a beer in our hands.
Let's do that worldwide. Doesn't matter where you are. Hell, if you want to breastfeed your baby, you should be able to do that.
Well, that's different though. New Orleans is more like check out my titties because they're hot.
The fact is that America has just gotten crazy with the sexualization on nudity. It's just nudity.
I don't think they got crazy with it now. I think that it's been like that and it's getting better.
Dude,
think about, here, let's think about Victorian times. They used to put sleeves on the legs of pianos or tables.
I still do that to my piano.
Do you know what I'm talking about? Come on. You know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't. I don't actually.
They were all about keeping men from getting aroused. So they put
Really?
Yeah, no, I'm serious, man.
I didn't know this.
They
I've never heard this.
They would put sleeves so that it wouldn't remind them of a woman's leg. No joke. They would do that to tables and to pianos.
I've never had a woman with a square leg.
But back then they used to dress, cover themselves all the way to their ankles. And the only thing you could see was their ankles. That was a big deal. And then you use your imagination, and so I don't know. It's really craziness. It's craziness. But they had other.
If you've ever been to a strip club in Mississippi, you wish they still did that.
Cover everyone up.
No, there's actually some of the most beautiful people in the world in Mississippi, especially Oxford. I love Oxford. It's
never
one of
been
my
to
favorite
Mississippi.
towns.
Oxford.
Yeah.
Like that Dylan song? Oxford Town?
It's where F. Scott Fitzgerald's from. It's where The Great Gatsby and other works from F. Scott. No, it's a cool little college town. Any musicians.
Oxford Town. You know what I'm talking about? Dylan song?
No, I'm not familiar with that one, which I know a lot, but you never really know all of Dylan's music.
He has a shit ton.
It's like Johnny Cash too.
Yeah.
Right when you think you've heard.
You know what's funny? Like one time I heard on the drive here to Nashville, we were listening to random music, and one of them on Spotify, and at some point we put on Bob Dylan, and one of them was him and Bob Dylan and Johnny Cash, and they were terrible.
Oh yeah,
they were both so out of tune, but they were probably wasted.
If you're traveling down an old country fair,
the recording is terrible. Like the song's good.
Down the borderline.
The song's good. It's just they sound wasted or something.
Yeah, well, they were
probably wasted. All sorts of
amphetamines
and just. I mean, but why can't you just fucking?
Yeah,
just,
really.
But
If
don't
it
put
wasn't
it
for June Carter, Johnny
would have died.
Would have ruined himself. But sometimes it takes that. You know,
I'm not saying
we were talking about
I'm not telling
Southern Christian belt.
Yeah.
And that has actually saved quite many of us rocks. Of us.
I'm not telling him not to do amphetamines because I'm not your mom. I'm just telling you just.
Well,
if you're gonna put
that's not something she.
if you're gonna put a recording out there, don't be wasted on the recording. You know.
Hell, screw that, man. Be like the Who. If you're gonna be wasted, you know, at least have the audacity to, you know, say, hey, this is what we do, and this is who I am. You know, and AC/DC Bon Scott. That's how that.
Yeah, but they were better. I'm just saying, if you're gonna do it, then be good at it.
Well, yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
If you're gonna do anything, be good at it.
Yeah.
And if you're gonna,
and again, I'm not gonna tell
don't
you.
Get caught.
You're gonna get caught if you're not good at it.
You're gonna get caught. Trust me.
If you're sloppy, just don't be sloppy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
at least be able to stand up straight.
I like the slop. You know, that's what I like about Stax Records and old music like that. I mean, that's some of my favorite music. My Aunt Bonnie, I call her Aunt Bonnie, but she was aunt by choice. You know, there's family by blood, and family by choice is usually closer because you choose them. And she mentored all my writing from about 13 to 16, and she wrote "Give Peace a Chance" for John Lennon.
She wrote that
with Leon Russell.
Really?
Back in the 70s, she was in a band called Delaney, Bonnie and Friends. She wrote songs like Superstar. Don't you remember you told me you loved me, baby?
How did she write? Well, I don't know that song, but I know John Lennon. How did she write that?
She wrote.
Did she write the? All we are saying.
Yeah, right.
That part?
Yeah, because if you listen to John Lennon and Joe Cocker's version, they're two different songs, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's pretty much all it was. And that, if you really think about that in the songwriter's aspect and perspective, that's beautiful because that's what a song was back there. It was just one line that was so heavy that all we were saying is "Give Peace a Chance." That's like the entire song.
It is beautiful.
That her and Leon Russell have been in lawsuits since it was first written. Mm-hmm. Neither one of them had probably made a dime from that song.
How do you know she wrote it?
Well, it's on the.
That's a thing. No, I'm oh, okay. I'm being super ignorant. Like I don't know. I don't. I was under the belief that
Leon was in her band in Delaney, Bonnie and Friends.
Yeah.
She was Bonnie of Delaney.
Well, why has she not seen a dime then? If it's her, it's under the copyright.
That's what happens when you write songs with people.
But if under the actual copyright,
not always, but you know,
if it's under the actual copyright under her name, like if I look that song up, will it say that she wrote it?
I have no clue. I've never. That's kind of like the.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, is the copyright really under her name? Because if it is, she would be making money off of it.
Right. I don't believe her or Leon have made any money off of it.
So then they're probably not on the copyright.
Yeah, because I know I've heard her talk about it in the past years how they're still in lawsuits over that song, and they still love each other. You know, just because you know, Paul McCartney did the same thing with the Beatles. Robbie Robertson did it with the band, having to sue to get out of the bands. You know, you have to do the same thing when you write a song with somebody, and that's sad. It makes a lot of people
You
hate
had to do that. It's no longer the case.
Well,
it's no longer the case where everyone can record everything all the time,
right?
And like there's gonna be like 10 versions of something at the same time.
Well, what sucks now is that there's like 15 writers on it compared to it being like 2 or 3 co-writers,
and they all get credit.
Well, they all get credit, but they all might make it $1,
which is why I don't write with 15 people.
Right.
Like, what's the point of that?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I've been in those, and I've been in guitar pools where, not like an actual pool, but you know what you call a guitar pool, where you just
a bunch of guys in a pool.
Well, guys, girls, songwriters in general. You're in a big room, and you start out with a piece of paper, a pencil, and a line.
Just everyone goes around.
And some people have guitars, and you just keep passing the paper until you got a full song. And sometimes that's how those songs are written. And so I get that sense, because that's fun too. That's a great exercise for songwriting.
Yeah.
You know, you should never limit yourself. We can bitch about whatever we want, but the fact is that when we bitch, we're really limiting ourselves from what we could be doing, you know, and that's really just developing, creating, you know.
We should use up our time to do stuff that matters.
Right.
It's too valuable. Hey, we're at 1 hour and 12 minutes right now, and I'm trying to keep them at 1 hour.
All right.
Because I feel like I'll just start ranting too much.
No, we can continue this again too. I'll come back over anytime.
I'm trying to figure that out though. Like sometimes maybe, me too. Yeah. Sometimes maybe it's okay to have it 2 hours long. I don't know yet. So right now I'm just keeping them at 1 hour.
I mean, I was actually talking to a friend of mine, well, my friend in Texas, on my way over here.
Yeah.
She's like, well, how many songs are you doing? I was like, I don't know. I didn't even discuss what I was doing, really. I didn't ask you. I could be playing 10 hours for all I know. I didn't. Which I've done before.
Yeah. That's why I didn't ask you. Cause isn't that a weird thing? Like, I didn't ask you as most places you. But again, it's the technology.
Well, I didn't ask you, so.
Right. And that's the only time I ever give that information is when they ask me, like, how many songs should I have prepared? And then I always say at least 3.
Yeah, my thing recently about, you know, because I've grown up in the music business, and I love doing it for money, but I hate doing it for money and time, you know. And if you're gonna play music, just do it because you love to play music.
Cool. On that note,
all right.
On that note, play us 2 more songs.
2 more songs
without any yapping in the middle. Any of my yapping, if I start yapping, you gotta shut me up.
I wish
play us 2 more songs, and then for sure you're welcome to hang out some more after the podcast.
Awesome.
You know, all that.
Awesome.
But play us a couple more songs, and then we'll click spacebar on this.
All right, spacebar. That's usually where I'm at. Is that far out in the space? All right. Well, this is one of my favorites of my dad's that I ever wrote.
Oh, nice.
Haven't done it in quite some time, so let's see how it goes. There's a beat-up cab parked right outside, handbag in my hand that tells what's on my mind. It feels like a mile walking to the door, but all I can say is love's not here anymore. I conceal my eyes from what I'm trying to hide, 'cause I never was good at saying goodbye. And she stays close and follows me to the street, and as I go, a tear rolls down her cheek. Don't let the world pass you by. Please don't waste waste your time trying to turn something wrong into something right. Days will come and days will go. There's strangers you'll meet and friends you'll never know. All times get hard and move real slow. And love is blind and hearts still grow cold. She told me once that I'd be twice the fool. And I'd never make up for breaking all the rules. In a beat-up cab turned backwards in my seat. Fall to me's in the middle of the street. Don't let the world pass you by. Please don't waste your time trying to turn something wrong into something right. Baby, all right.
Very nice.
Very nice.
Yeah, play us one more. No banter.
Yeah,
We'll
all
wrap it
right,
up with
let's,
one more.
I have a old little helper there, but got my foot caught in a trap. I should have looked forward, I was looking back at memories like bloodhounds on my trail. Thoughts of you run through my brain as if the brakes went out on a speeding train coming up on a corner, soon to be derailed. In a daring escape, I got myself loose, but found that I've fallen fast in the noose that is my fate. Worry and pain. From birth, I was raised in a rattlesnake pit where the venom varies each time you're bit. Many nights I laid shivering, cold on the ground, and I was not looking for someone to bring me down. But now you dug my grave, babe. Guess your place for me was in the ground. And I hope that I'm square with the Lord, but I don't really know where I'm bound. And I've spent time raising hell, and now it's all come back around.
There's more zeros than I can count on a reward sheriff's hat for 2 years now with my picture and a crime I didn't do. Say I killed 10 and then robbed a bank, and though I'm innocent, I know I'll hang. It's too much to bear for a boy at 22. I gotta step ahead, 2 steps behind when the shake in your voice said, what's on your mind, when they found me lying in your bed. I reached for my gun, but they had this drawn. I had no chance, I was already gone. No last words or wishes, in your arms I lay dead. I was not looking for someone to bring me down. Broke a string.
I noticed. Very nice.
All right, of course I broke my G string.
You must have been waiting to take it off.
Well,
just kidding.
You know,
you have your music online or anything?
I'm on Reverb Nation.
Reverb Nation. Cley Reynolds.
Yeah, I'm on Twitter. Let's see. I'm on all those good old social medias. I don't really have a website for myself.
Playing anything around here soon?
Not right now. I've actually just kind of been keeping myself and.
Well, you just did. You know.
Yeah, I've been building a cabin, man. I've just kind of been living under a rock, and.
You're building a cabin?
Yeah. I'm
cool.
building actually a tiny home on a family property, downtown Nashville, and.
Nice.
It's good to kind of get away from trying to rush so hard and
nice.
trying to.
What is it made of? All wood?
Oh yeah, mostly wood.
Nice.
Wood and alcohol, you know.
I want to learn how to make a cabin. I've always wanted to learn how to make my own home. That's
yeah,
great.
It's a good thing to know.
Yeah.
It's actually something that should be in schools, really.
Right?
I don't know
how
why,
your house works.
Why do they teach you all that other stuff when
they'll teach you how to survive?
Hey, teach us taxes. Teach us how to build.
Yeah.
Teach us, the things that are actually necessary
Teach us how to
for
cook.
life. In case we don't have to rely on our government for some other reason.
But I guess the school system is a government-run system.
Well,
But your parents should teach you all that stuff too.
Well,
if you're fortunate
true.
enough.
If you're fortunate enough, if your parents aren't working,
or wasted.
Well. Well, when you work so hard, you like a little drinky.
That's only because your dad's a musician. Well,
my dad never was a drinker though.
No?
No,
Good for him.
No, he'll smoke with you, but he can't nowadays, anyways. But those guys weren't drinkers. They like their amphetamine pills and their weed.
Yeah, back then, right?
Yeah.
They did. All those musicians back then.
Yeah.
Well,
Elvis, all those guys, man. That's what kept them on the road.
I guess so.
Well, thank you very much for having me, man.
man.
I've had a blast.
Me too.